What up, everybody? This is Lunchbox FPV in the house. I should say in the car today, actually, because I'm not in my house. I am here with Pew Pew. What up, Pew Pew? And GAB707, DRL World Champion. So let's just throw that out there, right? And I'm not going to correct it this time. You still are a DRL World Champion, technically. Technically, you are a world champion because being second worldwide still makes you a world champion, right?
Well, if they did the format as a championship, I would be world champion, but they didn't do it for that.
Oh shit! We need Jet to get on here and defend himself.
Yeah.
We got Sean. What's up, Sean? Always lingering around. I love Sean. He is the coolest guy. Got to meet him in multi-GP at the Tiny Whoop track and race some whoops with him. Super awesome guy. He was volunteering at the multi-GP, so mad respect for him. We got JM in the house. What up, JM? Yeah, we're still driving. We've taken our sweet time, Paul. We left pretty late, so like 2 hours later than we anticipated. And we pretty much stopped on every on-route on the way, so... So that's why it's been taking a while. We're about 160 kilometers out now, so we should be in Paris soon. Not bad, not bad. Gab, did you get your build done?
Almost.
Is there a preview? Can we give a preview to the beautiful crowd here?
What it's looking like.
Oh shit.
Nice and black.
Nice and black.
Can't see anything. Oh,
super
wait, you can
good.
see it if I hold it here.
Oh, there you go.
Let me put some light.
So the base build is done. We got
shit.
Yep,
Look at this
traffic.
we hit Toronto. Paul, we officially hit Toronto. There's dead stop traffic at 10 o'clock at night.
We just hit traffic here. So the build is done. We got motors, we got a flight controller, we got an OSD, we got ESCs, we got all that good stuff. I'm just missing the video part, but I'm too lazy to do it now.
So Jam, Gab built that drone while driving this whole time to Paris. Yeah, welcome to Toronto.
Welcome to Toronto.
Thank
As
you,
we
Paul.
sit in traffic, look at the traffic piling up behind us. So that's just awesome. We get lots of great traffic here in Toronto. Yeah.
Yep.
I hate Toronto. I mean, I love Toronto.
Paul, are you at the event right now?
Paul, are you there? Are you coming, or what? Are you gonna pass by and come say hi?
Hurry up and what?
And stop.
Hurry up and stop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Are you gonna come meet us on the side of the highway and come chill? He said he's home.
Are you coming to the event at all, Paul?
Nick Lang, what's up, Langy Lang? Charles is back too.
Hey.
Charles sick in bed. We're his entertainment for the night. So Paul said we could go meet up with him. So Paul said he's gonna come meet up with us tomorrow. Sweet. So you're the one I have to put my order in for cold beer, right? Because I completely forgot to pick up beer. So I'll be hollering at you tomorrow. Nit Lang asked us, what event are we going to? So we are going to FatShark Frenzy. It is a Joe Scully event. I have never been there, but I've never been to this event, but Gab and Ryan have gone to them.
I was there last year. We had wing racing, we had quad racing, that's it.
So that's a lot. We had racing. We had a lot of different racing going on.
Yeah.
So this year apparently there's both.
He's asking if you want to stop at his place.
Do you want to stop at your place? How far are you from the 401? Because we're already getting there at like midnight. So I'm not sure if the whole crew. We could ask, but I think everyone's gonna want to get there and set up our tents. We're camping, you know.
Yeah, we don't want to waste.
Unless we go to Paul's and we just go sleep at Paul's house. Team Canada invades Paul's house.
You said 3 minutes.
It's 3 minutes off the highway. Are we going to sleep at Paul's house tonight? That would just be funny.
That would be funny.
Paul, get the tequila ready. We're coming.
Understood.
He's like, you want to? More than welcome. Look at this traffic we're sitting in. This
We
is
did stay
crazy.
at Paul's house once last year.
Oh yeah? Did you guys stay there last year? You guys were guests at Paul's house last
We were
year?
guests, and it was a good experience.
Actually, Paul, I have a funny story for you because I was in multi-GP and someone came up to me and said his first purchasing experience was from a Canadian, and his name was Paul, and he had really, really good support. And he said he had bought, I believe, off of your eBay store at the time. Is that possible? Or he said it was like the parts that he wanted he could only find from a Canadian store, and so happened to be you. And like you helped him out with everything and got on the phone with everything. So you're renowned as a very good tech supporter by some of the Yanks over in MultiGP.
Thank you, Sean.
Oh, we will say hello to Scully. We'll cheers him for you. He's always a hoot.
Looking forward to the karaoke tonight.
Oh, is it karaoke night? Is it Friday karaoke night?
Oh, it's always karaoke night when Joe's up.
Oh shit, karaoke tonight with Joe.
But I
So I'm
haven't
wondering,
seen him drink very much these days.
are we going to an event right now where we think when we get there there'll be a party going on, or do you think everyone will be sleeping?
I think it's going to be a party. Although the big party is probably going to be Saturday night.
Where exactly are we? We just passed like an IMAX on the 401. I don't know if that tells you anyway. The Canucks, the Yanks, you know. Where are we on the 401? Good question. Brock Street, Whitby is in 1 kilometer. Brock Street, Whitby. Is that near you?
50-50.
That's 50-50. Is your 50-50?
50-50 for the party, probably.
Oh, 50-50, yeah, who knows? We're gonna find out how crazy these Torontonians are.
I hope some of them come out.
I hope all the FPV groups get together at this one from Toronto. That'd be really sweet to see. So what are you going to be racing, Gab? What is going to be your selected racing quad for the night?
My N Racing Katana.
So you're racing the Katana.
It's all the way in the back somewhere.
Steven,
I actually have 4 of those.
where are you guys going? We are going to Paris, Ontario right now. We are driving to Paris to go fly at the FatShark Frenzy Joe Scully event. So the truck behind us is Ryan Nailed Up from Team Canada FPV. What up? Say hello to Ryan. He is jamming the truck with his wife and his dog behind us. So
Yeah, and they're pretty full. It's just the wife and the dog there.
yeah, they're pretty loaded up. It's quite hilarious actually how much stuff you end up bringing to an FPV event. Like I'll go camping for 2 weeks and have less equipment in my car than when I go to an FPV event for like 2 days. It's like ridiculous. I think the most equipment though I had in my car was going to NAFPV because I brought all my wings and all my drones. It was just like a clusterfuck of everything. Santiago! Santiago's!
Hey, San.
I miss you, bro. Where have you been? I feel like you've just disappeared in my life recently. Gab, are you an all-time racer? Asked Justin Levesque. I'm guessing he's asking, are you a full-time racer?
No, I'm not a full-time racer.
He's a part-time racer.
Only part-time.
He drones by day and he physics by night. Can you say that? He physics by night?
Physics.
He physicses by night. He physicses his by night.
Yeah, you gotta ask this.
He is a particle analyzer. Is that it? Is that right? Can you say that? No. No. Okay. He's he work particle. I don't know. You're not analyzing because that's kind of what Annabelle does, right? She analyzes the data given by what you guys do.
Yeah,
kind of.
Annabelle is.
Could you say she's a particle? So you could say that she analyzes particle data.
Yeah.
Test.
The
Particle
technical
test.
word is just either data analyst.
Data analyst.
Or just I guess particle physicist.
That makes sense because you could be a data analyst in like IT as well, where you're just, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
So Gab, then he theorizes particle creation, particle.
No.
Theoretical particle.
No, I lost the screw.
He theoreticizes
Got it.
particle. He theoretizes particle stuff. He's a physicist, okay? All right, guys.
All right.
Someone said where do we went to
so
eat?
that's like material science.
People are asking where we went to go eat.
Yep.
Well, we were on the route, so it's either a Tim Hortons, a KFC, or a Burger King. So I think the group split up, right? We had a Tim Hortons order that went through. We had some coffees and Timbits, obviously classic Canadian, and then we got some Burger King as well. So we mixed it up. We just mixed it up.
Someone said what name are we registered in MultiGP?
Sorry?
MultiGP?
Yeah.
What's
What
it?
names do we have in MultiGP?
What names do we
Yeah,
have?
it's our pilot.
Team Canada FPV was up there. I think it was Canada FPV though when they entered it.
Okay.
And then all of our, I guess all the pilot names, like it was all like GAB707, Nailed Up, Bull FPV, Lolders. I would like to say I was super proud of our new pilots on our team. They did awesome at the event. They're just ripping.
It is much better than the old pilots.
Ruben John.
Yeah, it was as well.
I didn't see the comment about the French thing. Someone said we all speak French in this car, so I don't know if there's a
Yes.
comment about that. Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
we do actually.
We all do speak French in this
On
car.
parle français ici.
Nous autres, on parle français. I saw those names. So yeah, there was Bull FPV, Lolders, GAB707, Nailed Up, and then Canada FPV. We came fourth worldwide in the team racing. Someone's asking a question in French. Go, Anthony, read it.
Gab, ça fait combien de temps que tu fais des courses et que tu as commencé?
So let's repeat that just so for the English viewers. So the question was, how long have you been drone racing?
Yeah.
Essentially.
When did you start, and how long have you been doing it, basically?
So I think my first ever drone race was just over 2 years ago. It was a Drones Montreal meet. We were in some park in town. I basically just turned up, had no idea. I had that one quad working. I actually didn't have a quad, I had a hex. I turned up with my hex.
You had a hex quad.
Yeah, it had 1806 motors and I had 50-30 props.
So you had 16 of them. I mean, 6 of them. Did you have like actual hex quad running, like 6 motors?
Yeah, hexacopter.
Oh my goodness.
I had just moved to a carbon frame. It was my first ever carbon frame.
So did you go with the hex because you thought it would be faster in racing because I had more motors at the time?
No, because
Okay.
just like 2 weeks before that, I had been running. I had a frame made out of balsa wood. Basically, like a totally improvised build that I did. It's like a carbon plate you could get from Hobby King,
Yeah.
and I had like balsa wood sticks that served as arms, and I had like some spare motors, and somehow the 4 motors were not really powerful enough, so I just on the KK2 board you can go up to like an octocopter.
Yeah.
So I just turned my quadcopter into a hexacopter, and it flew much better with 6 motors. So that's why I went into hexes.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty awesome.
So that was my first ever race, and I think I won it. And then from there on, I think, yeah, like a week or two after we went to the Fall Classic organized by Joe Scully. That was my first ever big race.
So back to a Joe Scully race like we're going to right now. Going back to your roots, yo.
I won the Joe Scully's race. That was, and this is where Paul Dowling was. He was Autobotics. He was sponsoring the first prize. The first prize was all expenses paid to go to Atlanta to the F3 Expo.
Yeah.
So that was my first 3 races all in a row, which was pretty intense. That was my start 2 years ago.
That's pretty crazy. What was the screen that you were flying like on your famous GAB707 cardboard duct tape screen to your Tyrannus, to your face? What screen was that? Do you remember the model?
I believe that was the Hobby King
7-inch?
Quantum.
Oh, it was the Quantum screen. So it was the one for the goggles.
Yeah, before they actually had the full
Like neoprene kit there?
The V2s and whatnot. It was the V1s. There was nothing with it.
Yeah, Ruben was saying if we were camping on site.
Yes, we will be camping on site. Are you camping on site?
And Vec is saying
Whoever that is, we'll be seeing you.
what patch antenna you use on your videos.
So what patch do we use, Gab? The TrueRC X2 Airs, of course. TrueRC X2 Airs.
Let's show you that. I've got one right here.
We'll show you what we use.
Hey, Michael Palmer.
I'd say this is the most used antenna on Team Canada right now. Is these ones right here.
If I find them, I thought they would be pretty close, but they are not that close. There's a lot of cabinets.
Stan Levesque is saying, if you win DRL, do you get any money?
Here.
So that is the TrueRC. Let's finish that question off first. TrueRC patch antenna.
It's got two, I don't know what you call those, but it's basically, if you ever seen an X-Air, it's basically just one of these patches and it gives you a circular pattern in front of you. This one has two of those, so it gives you a very spread out pattern and you have a very wide field. So it's an awesome antenna.
So when doing long distance, you slap like two of those onto your diversity and you point them a little bit further apart and you basically have unlimited video in front of you. Not unlimited, but you definitely could go quite a while. Yeah. TrueRC is the shit, guys. Definitely TrueRC.
Emil is asking if he can get the plans for the legendary lunchbox somewhere.
So the plans for the lunchbox. Lunchbox will be going into production in the next month. So plans for that are not going to be released. It is actually a full custom PCB board. So to be able to build it, you would have to buy that PCB board to put inside of it. So a little bit more complicated than most people think because there's charging ports, USB out, diversity, DVR, everything's built into it. So it's a complete custom PCB, and that's why I was in China for a while. So we'll definitely have that, I'll have that launched for you guys in the next little bit. So do we have any other questions for GAB707 or Pew Pew, or was there any other questions that were in there that I missed?
Stan Levesque was asking, what do you win
at DRL?
At DRL.
So what do you win, Gab?
Do you win any money?
You win respect.
You win the respect of fellow pilots around the world.
That is exactly it. So there's a bit of prize money for each of the races, but it's not that much. What you're really working for is the contract for the year that's coming. So if you're first, you get a 6-figure salary, which is pretty sweet. You can be a full-time drone pilot and have an actually good salary. If you get any of the other spots, we don't exactly know what the deal's going to be, but
She shared a tiny one.
we'll see how things
Shared a
go.
tiny one.
He's old and
That one's really good. It's like 70,000 users. Who is the fastest drone racer in the car? GAB7, Gab, obviously.
That depends.
That depends on what.
If you consider drone racing on Siemens to be drone racing.
Yeah, because Pew Pew's what? Like you ranked what? Like 3rd worldwide in liftoff.
Yep.
So Pew Pew is
well,
up there.
I'm more of a sim guy, so
I'd say Pew Pew is definitely up there on.
I'm kind of like Jaws in DRLs.
Oh, he's like Jaws in DRL. Dun dun dun
I
dun
see
dun
myself
dun
in
dun.
it. He did quite well, actually. I was impressed.
What were you in DRL? Do you know what rank you were on like the DRL sim?
On DRL, I don't play much on DRL because it lags.
Your computer can't handle it, or
And I
Or
don't
does the
like
sim
the
just lag?
feeling of it. The liftoff has more to offer for me in terms of feature and chatting.
they're starting to get pretty good. I was talking to one of the owners the other day, and they're doing some pretty big developments.
The new high voltage that came out, the DRL, it's not good. There's
not
a lot of
ready,
bugs. A lot of bugs.
Yeah, they're still working on it.
It was an alpha version,
They have a
right,
lot of
or a beta
potential,
that they put out.
Yeah. I mean, the simulator that they put out has only ever been a beta. It's never been really like out. So the one on the high voltage, that one that's on Steam, is going to become something a bit more official.
Okay.
But it's it's still they just launched it, and I think they're still working on it.
So for now, I guess the question would be, what is your favorite simulator, and why?
Yes.
So far, I'm using Velocidrone. That's the only one I really have experience with. I wouldn't say it's my one and only choice. I don't fly simulators often enough to really have that one choice and know all the intricacies of all the other sims. But I really like the feel of the old sim, of the old DRL sim. I mean, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it doesn't feel like my quad," but you've not raced Racer 3 before, and if you had raced Racer 2, well, you would know that it flies how it's in the sim. It's a slow beast, and it's annoyingly. It's just yeah.
Doesn't respond the way most people would expect a racing quad to respond.
It's a brick.
it's a flying brick. Yeah.
So you have to calculate, right?
It made for absolutely brilliant racing. But I mean, Racer 3 definitely came in and upped the game by a long shot. So I'm really, I don't know if they released Racer 3 yet on the high voltage.
But the Racer 2 was like pretty cool to watch you actually fly with it, because I remember a couple of times when you were practicing, I joined you, you'd explain how you have to preventively think of how you're gonna fly. You can't just auto correct all your moves as you're flying, because you actually have to think how the drone is reacting in the air a lot more, right?
Absolutely.
You have a lot less time to react, right? When you make a mistake
Absolutely. I mean, I love those DRL quads because of it, because you really need to plan your racing lines as you do on a car. Like a car, you don't just go balls out into a corner. You need to plan the line ahead. You need to go wide, cut the corner. You need to bleed off the speed to be at the right speed, at the right place in the corner, so that you don't skid out. And with drones, it should be, to me, the same thing. It shouldn't be the competition for how far forward you can push your sticks. It should be how well you can fly your line.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So Justin is asking, how did you get your contract at DRL?
So how are you how did the scouts find you at DRL?
So DRL is an invite league. So you basically have to prove yourself. You need to go to races. You need to show that you can be fast. I won like the year before. I did quite a few like international competitions. I think all these sort of regional and whatnot races, I won them all, and that sort of helped put me out there. There's making YouTube videos, I think too.
But you weren't really big in like social media when you got picked up by DRL. I would say like you were at the start. You only had a couple of hundred followers. Like you were pretty small when you got picked up by DRL.
Not really, but I mean like all the Joe races I went, and I pretty much got first overall in all of them.
But I would say
there was like a whole like winter league that he did. I won all the events.
Hey Liam.
Well, you're like a pretty veteran racer at that point. I mean, I'd say you're one of the guys like most well-traveled pilots that I knew, right? Like you had been going to like races out in Europe, and where other racers were pretty much just doing local races a lot of the time, where like you were also traveling to other races. So I think that might have definitely helped, right? This is like getting first in all those races worldwide, not just in your local chapter. I think that must have definitely helped for sure.
What's
Oh,
up,
Liam.
Hey Liam.
Did we pass
on the highway?
I don't know, man. We're how many kilometers? We're an hour and 20 minutes away. How far are you? Where are you at, Liam? So Liam is driving there too at the same time as us.
As well. We got 3 cars. Team Canada's coming down with 3 cars.
What's up, Joe Manella? The other Manella.
So who's this Manella?
This is Joe Manella. He's like one of the chillest FPVers out.
Is he your brother?
He's my brother. He's even bald with a big beard. He's pretty up there, man. Manellas.
The Manellas are taking over?
That's it. They're all the balded bearded Manellas. We're coming for you, bro.
Word up.
Word up. Here's Toronto. So we are approaching Toronto City right now.
41 minutes away from our hotel.
So we are currently, for those who are just tuning in, we are in the car with Pew Pew and GAB707, DRL World Champion. We are driving to Paris, Ontario right now to go race at the FatShark Frenzy Joe Scully race, which is going to be awesome. Our other Team Canada member is in Kitchener.
Kitchener.
So they're ahead of us, right?
Did he pass us?
So he passed us, I think.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we're ahead of you.
So he's ahead of us by like maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes. I think Kitchener is just like on the other side of Toronto.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
I'm just gonna look it up and see where Kitchener is.
Check it out. I'm pretty sure it's right when we pass. So we got another question that came up.
Stan is asking, how did you start flying with what kind of transmitter or goggle did you use back then?
Oh, so Gab, what was the first transmitter and goggles you used? Because that's actually a funny story. We all watched Gab win races with the most ridiculous setup in the world. So please explain that to the viewers.
Hang on, I just finished this. Where's
all right, hold on. Before we get to that question, we're looking up where's Kitchener to us right now because
he's way ahead. Wait, what's he doing in Kitchener?
Is he like too far ahead?
Kitchener is like past where we need to go.
Liam
said he's going at a hotel, so that's why.
He's going to a hotel in Kitchener, is that why? Because it seems like you're like quite past where we're actually staying.
Yeah, I think so. He'll probably be coming back though.
So you're probably passing where we're going to be racing and then driving back. I think, possibly. That is what could be going on. I'm not 100% sure though. That is all in speculation.
So, to get back to your question.
What was the question again? Oh yeah, what did you start? Well, yeah, so just to repeat the question, guys, we're asking Gab, what transmitter did you start with? What goggles did you start with? And I could definitely say it's a funny story because we've all seen Gab win races with a cardboard box taped to his face pretty much. So, yeah, explain that setup, Gab.
So, I first bought a FlySky remote.
FlySky, the i6?
Yeah.
Yeah.
TS i6, I think it was called.
Oh, that was the real one. That's a Turnigy TS i6. The FS i6 is the FlySky. Yeah.
FS i6?
Yeah, that's the FlySky.
FS i6.
Yeah, it was the... Yeah, okay, the standard remote most people start with, yeah.
Yeah, so it's the cheap one. It has no fail-safe on it.
Yeah.
Which I learned the hard way because I flew behind the little hill thing and I still had perfect video, but my lost control and the quad was on the floor just throttling. Burnt the motor and the ESC that day. Was pretty annoyed. So the day that happened, I actually installed the FRSky DIY module that you can get.
To the FlySky?
You solder that into the FlySky.
Really?
And then you get better range. You get everything. You get it does a little beep for the when you start losing signal. You get RSSI.
Basically, you're like soldering an XJT module inside of the FlySky, basically.
Pretty much.
Pretty much, probably what it is.
Yeah, it's like a separate module that you need to go in. You need to hunt for the 5 volt inside there, the negative, and then the signal, the PPM. That was all PPM.
Yeah.
That's what I started with, and then on the goggle side, I had this quantum box. It just comes in as a box, and it just came with a little screen, which was absolute garbage, and a foam box. The screen went to like blue screens and black screens. So at some point I bought a screen off eBay to put inside, which I did. So I had to change the box. That was pretty fun experience. But then I also had like blue screens and black screens and whatnot.
Is that when you went from like a cardboard box, a foam box to a cardboard box on your goggles?
No, it was still a foam box.
It's still a foam box? Okay, so you custom cut a foam box.
Basically I had the remote, I used to hold the remote like that. And then the screen would basically be taped onto the controller. And then I'd basically hold the screen up to my face. I mean, the original thinking was good. I mean, you could just hold it down and then you'd be line of sight, right? You'd be legal.
Yeah.
And then you put the goggles on and then if anything happens, just pop down and then it'd be
that's it. You were thinking about the laws before they even existed.
That's it. And at some point I got a Tyrannus, so I just started doing the same thing with the Tyrannus. And we went to Dubai, I think, with that whole setup.
Yeah.
And then shortly after Dubai, I bought myself FatSharks.
I think after enough people making fun of you in Dubai for your setup, I think that's what pushed you to get FatSharks.
Yeah. I should have stayed with that setup though. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really want to go to FatSharks. The problem was just that the screens I had were not like once if you lost signal, it took way too long for it to come back. For example, when we did the qualifier races with Joe Scully, it was the Barn Burner Racing Series. When other people would, like with the FatSharks, if like you'd get a blowout and then it would immediately come back. In mine, it would go out, stay out, and come back.
Yeah.
And then I flew through quite a few races like that, like 5 races or something we won with them, and it just got frustrating at some point. I mean, I could still do it, and I still won races, but it was just way too annoying, way too annoying. So I just moved away from that. I I don't know how the modern goggles though are doing.
So Emil just said, like, am I the only one that flies 16x9? I fly 16x9 actually. My Sky Zone V2s are 16x9 and I like it. So...
Well, I think 16x9 gives you
box goggles
more space though. So.
It gives you more space. I guess it depends. You know what? In all honesty, what I've realized by just like so many clients coming by and meeting so many people is like it's a big preference for goggles. Yeah. Some people like the head play HDs. Some people can't. Like I know a lot of people, especially when I was in China. Actually, a lot of the guys I was hanging around with were in their 40s and 50s, and none of those guys could wear FatSharks. They put on FatSharks and they'd almost immediately puke. They'd get so motion sickness within seconds.
Yeah, it was
crazy though. They'd put them on and be like, whoa, like literally like seconds. They're like, that's wild that they get motion sickness so quickly from the FatSharks. And then they'd put on their head play type goggles and they'd be fine. Which is just super odd, right?
I should try get one of those box type things, goggles, and see how.
Well, I have those head plays at home. We could try them out. The new head plays.
Just to go out to a race again and have the screen.
It'd just be funny for that'd just be funny for you to show up as like world champion with like a duct tape box to your face, like. Goes to show you could use like whatever you have and you could still win. It's not the equipment, it's the racer.
Show up with a ZMR 250 and this thing taped to my face.
So what's this next question here? We got something from Emil here.
Yeah, hold on. Ishin versus D2, or I think he meant.
That's the top comment.
Dominator V2.
Use what you prefer despite of comments. Gab, there are some pro gamers that use the old Microsoft mouse.
Yeah, well, it's all about what you're used to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yashin or D2, I have no idea. I could really not tell you.
Even on my computer setup, my mouse that I was using not long ago was the Logitech MX1000, which is like, what, 12 years old? And I still have my original G15 Microsoft keyboard, so I definitely get that. You get to use what you're used to. Definitely there's new keyboards that have come out that have cooler LEDs on it, and the keys don't make as much noise, and they don't stick as much, but if that's what you're used to, that's what you're used to. For sure.
Est-ce que vous pensez que c'est une bonne idée d'acheter sur Banggood parce que je n'ai pas un gros budget et j'aimerais vraiment embarquer dans le FPV?
So the question was, do you think it's okay to order from Banggood? Obviously because they still have the best pricing and stuff like that.
Low budget.
My general opinion, I would say, for anyone that is not in a rush and is on a budget, go ahead and order from Banggood because you will get the best price from there.
Yeah, the Ishin Wizard, especially for starters.
Yeah, the Ishin Wizard is a great like starter kit on Banggood. There's a lot from Banggood that's positive and a lot that's negative. You know, I could honestly say I've received a lot of packages where it was like either not the right quantity that I ordered, or it was completely the wrong item, or it came very late even though I paid the express shipping. So if you're not looking to get something quickly and you're willing to, you know, go through customer support sometimes to get what you want, then Banggood is not that bad. I think it could be a great area. Everyone here has ordered off Banggood, right?
Yeah, I don't think I have.
You never? Gab stuck away from Banggood, so...
I was going on the other guys, what are they called, MyRC Mart?
MyRC Mart, yeah.
Because they actually have their own, their dealers, like for, the only, I think, dealers for official RCX.
Okay.
That kind of stuff. So they seemed a bit more legit. But they still have really awesome prices for motors and everything.
So Gab is a MyRC Mart person.
Yeah, I'm a MyRC Mart guy.
So what is this next question here?
There are big box type goggles, yeah.
I think he was referring
to the Ishin versus...
You said Ishin and D2s. What are the D2s though?
I think you meant HD2.
HD2s?
HD2s.
So yeah,
HD2s?
Maybe, but he said D2.
He said D2, so I'm not sure. Maybe
Joe,
can you clarify your question there, what you meant, like, between the goggles? Do you mean, like, do we like the box goggles more, or, like, the FatShark type style goggles more?
D2 would be like a model of box goggle.
Is it the VR? There's the VR D2, which is, like, the Ishin goggles, I believe.
What was the name of the red ones that you had? Marvel Visions.
Marvel Visions are good. Those are great screen on there.
I don't know, a friend of mine, he got them and then his charging port died.
So I've noticed because it's a micro USB, people push it in too hard.
Yeah. And
they're not fragile enough. They don't realize like it is RC stuff, and you have to be really fragile with it. Same thing happened to me. One of the cadets actually pushed in the whole USB plug on my screen.
Yeah.
So when I get home, I have to take it apart and unsolder it and resolder a new plug in.
Thankfully, that friend of mine is an electronics engineer,
so he just took it apart.
Yeah, but he's like, but I'm an electronics engineer. That's all I do all day. I solder shit together.
So he's like, I don't want to fix this.
He's like, he had a whole bag of like stuff to build a whole quad. I turned up at his place. He's like, I soldered. I put the motors on and I soldered one pad on. I'm like, dude, it's been sitting there for 6 months and you haven't put it together. He's like, but I put stuff together all day. So we sat there and we did it together until like 2 in the morning. Until we had it done and we were through it the next day. It flew great.
So you never know what you're gonna get, yo. So yeah, that definitely happens. It's kind of like landscapers who have like the worst grass and worst garden, or like people who paint houses and their house is never painted.
But that's the problem also with Banggood. Like, I mean, when you do order stuff that comes slowly, if you forgot something,
yeah,
you're like, I forgot, this little cable to hook up the camera, and then you're stuck. And then you're like, but if I order it again, it's going to be another 3 weeks, and then you don't do it, and then you lose
enthusiasm.
You lose
almost.
interest, and you lose enthusiasm.
Yeah, because a lot of times, like, you're excited. You're like a little kid in like a candy shop, and you want to get your parts like yesterday, and you want to start building yesterday. So it's usually because you watched a YouTube video and like someone hyped something up, so you're like all excited like a little kid, like, I want to buy that, I want to get it. So yeah, that's that. Anyone else have any FPV questions while we're out here? We are down to 7 users, guys. Sharing is caring. If the 7 users are watching, would you care to share our live stream to a couple of groups? Let some people know we're here. We could entertain the masses. We could entertain the masses, guys. Gotta give us that audience. Gotta give us that audience. I'm just kidding. We love you, 8. We will continue to talk to you, 8, obviously. You're the diehards of the road trip. So this, sometimes, oh shit, my comments stopped scrolling. What happened? What was the reaction after your first crash? What was your reaction after your first crash, Gab? Did you fall off your chair? Did you fall over?
I don't know.
I remember I remember my first FPV crash.
Oh, what did you do?
I remember like literally falling, like pulling my goggles off and feeling like I fell backwards. Like I was like, whoa, and like grabbed my goggles like immediately. And then I found my quad like full throttle, still in the grass, like chomping grass. First mistake you make as a newbie is like not de-arm. Forget to de-arm every time or disarm every time. Yeah.
That's one thing I do with beginners always. Like you fly, but then you have your hand on their disarm switch because you know they're not going to hit the disarm switch.
Yeah, that happens though.
But I do set it up as for beginners. I usually set the quads up as the to do the motor stop. I mean, that's how I had when I started. They worked great. So.
Yeah, so you don't burn out your equipment.
I actually still use that. I still have that.
You still have motor stop on your quad?
Yeah, but then I have the air mode on a switch, and then I'm usually flying it full air mode. So
that's Toronto? I don't know. I say Toronto.
Toronto.
I just say Toronto. Oh, we're back.
We are back.
Damn you, Toronto, and your shafty internet.
Michael was asking what's your favorite prop?
What's your favorite prop at the moment, Gab?
Oh.
It's the whiskey prop?
I believe it's going to be the whiskey prop.
The flash prop, 5152s right now.
I love those props.
Those are hot.
They're fast. They make a weird sound. They're very responsive. They're actually so responsive that you generally need to move your PIDs down slightly because they move very fast. As soon as you go to like a thicker blade, you tend to have to increase the P's a bit. Those props need a very low one. They, however, are not very efficient on crashing. Like you will crash, you will just destroy them very quickly. But they're made for speed. They're made for racing. So usually when you race, you don't crash.
90.
Well, you better not crash.
road raging while you're talking. It's retards. Driving 90 in 100, so.
Joe Manila is asking, do you use different quads for racing and freestyle?
I have an easy solution for that. I don't freestyle, so.
So you don't really freestyle very much?
No, actually I do. So I do have different quads for freestyle. So one of my freestyle quads, actually I have two freestyle quads. For a non-freestyler, that's pretty solid. The first one I have is a Flynoceros skull. It's an absolute tank. It's awesome when you want to do tricks, when you want to do go bash around and make sure nothing breaks. The GoPro is fully protected, everything's protected. My second one is this guy. That's a, I don't know if you can see it. It's a Shrike, X-Labs Shrike Dead Cat. It's actually a sort of a limited edition that they did.
It's because it looks like a squished cat when it's like
It's the Dead Cat just layout, because your arms aren't symmetric, you'll see around the center. The reason why it's not symmetric is so your camera sticks out more at the front to clear out your props. So you won't have any props in view, even if you're running only like 10 or 20 degree camera tilt. Because on more modern racers, you really need to have at least like 35 degrees tilt, so you can actually have a clear view of stuff. So.
Oh, that's pretty crazy.
But those are my two freestylers. They're obviously heavier than the racers, and they're made for just having fun and rooting around.
That's awesome.
And I got little bumpers on them now. See the little bumpers on the arms at the front?
Oh, why do you have those?
Go Provo tap stuff.
Oh shit! So you could go tap stuff.
Yep.
You could do his freestyle tap moves.
You do all those tapping moves.
Have you ever stickered a building?
I've not tried.
Have you ever tap stickered something?
I haven't tried yet.
Oh shit, son.
I need to do something.
Oh boy. Oh boy, there's a challenge coming up.
Challenge coming up.
There's
Canada stickers.
There's a challenge. So we got some new people coming in. For those guys who are tuning in, we are on a road trip right now to Paris, Ontario, to the FatShark Frenzy. You guys are joining Lunchbox FPV, Pew Pew, a world champion, a world DRL champion, GAB707. So that is what is going on. So for those who are tuning in, we are doing a little AMA, so you can ask us anything. We are on a long road trip, so we are here to answer your questions.
Charles is asking, what tilt do you use on your racers?
So what tilt do you use on your racers, Gab?
I use probably somewhere between 40 and 50 degrees, depending on the speed of the track.
And funny enough, we were just talking about that. You were just telling me how like tilt is really important to you. Or like a pilot like Ryan, you said is not as important, right?
No, that's the camera position.
That's positioning.
But the tilt, it's just sort of the same thing. I mean, for example, on Racer 3s, the tilt probably is down to somewhere between 30 and 45 degrees. But on my regular builds, I will go up to like 50 degrees because they go much faster. And so if you need to hit full throttle in the straightaway, you need to have enough tilt so that you can see where you're going. Unfortunately, these quads just go faster and faster and faster, so you just need more and more tilt to even see where the hell you're going. But there again, they go so fast that you can't really go full throttle any much of the time. So you only use the max throttle just to get yourself around corners fast, more than on the straightaways because it just goes too fast.
So that poses a question. How often are you actually full throttling one on most racetracks? I guess it depends how technical the track is, but I'd say on an average, are there many tracks that you've gone to where you will be full throttling most of the track, or?
It depends on the quad, for example.
Well, let's talk DRL then. Since DRL was standard quad,
the Racer 3 is absolutely a baller to fly.
So it's a full throttle quad, like the whole way through the race?
No. It's just the right blend. So when you have like open sections, you are full throttle all the way. Yeah. And you have you have six quads and everybody's full tilt. And everybody's going full speed at full stick, and it's not going any faster, no matter how much you want it to go faster.
Yeah.
Which is perfect, which is exactly what you want.
So it gets that racing sensation going on?
It's more than about, how did you take the corner just before and how quickly you exited the turn before. That's going to determine how fast you're going to be on that straightaway, not how far you can push your stick.
So someone's laughing, saying, how about on a UTT1 track?
On a UTT1 track, well, that one is also full speed, though.
That's a full throttle track.
These UTT tracks are made to go
fast.
I don't know. It's a tiny track though, but you need to just go full blast on it. I've never actually tried to make a good time on UTT 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6.
Well, we don't really have much of a multi-GP division in Canada, so we don't really get to get all those UTT amazingness that the rest of you guys do pretty much every weekend. Like you guys have like every weekend events for multi-GP, where I think last year we had one multi-GP race, and we couldn't even actually, funny enough, we couldn't even register it because a quad hit our timing system in such a weird way that it didn't just split our timing system in half, it split our SD card in half. So we're like, oh, whatever, we'll replace the board. But then when we went to go pull the SD card out, it was actually cracked in half. So like a propeller went through the board and through the SD card. So for that to happen, the drone had to go through the start gate and come backwards. So I think he like went through, crashed, and then wheelbarrowed backwards through the gate and hit our timing system, which is quite incredible. We put it in a place where we thought no one would ever hit it. But as we all know as drone pilots, if you put something somewhere where it could be hit, it will be hit. So the second someone could see that thing in their goggles, like it's eventually going to get hit. So
that's it. There's more questions here.
Compared to UTT 6, it's night and day.
I know someone had mentioned before, how do you compare the flash props, the GEMFAN Flash 5152s to the Cyclones?
Yes.
So have you flown the Cyclones?
Yes, I have.
I've never tried the Cyclones, so I don't have an opinion.
Nice. They're definitely a step up from the sort of paddle props that we used to have. They're very durable, which is probably their biggest advantage.
So that's Dow prop, right, Cyclone?
Dow prop, yeah.
And that's sort of like their twist on these new racing type props that are coming out with different shapes.
But they are a bit of a heavier prop, so they're not as snappy, for example, as the 152s. And I feel like they don't exactly have the same amount of speed in them and top speed. But there again, I'm not sure you always need that. I really like the Cyclones, to be honest. I mean, they're both really, really good props. I'd say the GEMFAN have a bit of an edge on maneuverability and speed.
So Cyclones would be more durable, great practice prop as well. Where GEMFAN, maybe you get... I've only flown GEMFAN, but one thing I could honestly say about the 5152s is normally when I put on a prop, you know, they were fairly similar in, you know, what I was doing, unless you're going from like a full bullnose to a non-bullnose.
Yeah.
But when testing the flash, like from every other prop that I've had used recently, I noticed a dramatic difference in response on my drone. So it's rare when you get a prop and you actually notice this like immense difference. A lot of them, it would take me like 5-6 like sets of like burning through the props before I really noticed like what was advantageous about it. Maybe top speed was better, you know, all little things. But the flash prop, like immediately as I put them on, I was like, whoa. I don't know if it was just the sound that was like different that made me kind of jump out of my seat, but right away I just felt a lot better in the sky with them. I don't know. That's just my opinion.
What are the comments here?
Love the Cyclones. So, guys, more questions for us. It seems we might have missed some. So if we missed your questions, can you repost them? If not, come up with some questions and ask us, because we're sitting here in the car and we still have another 56 minutes to go. Or we have another 20 kilometers till the gas break. So it is time to get your questions in.
Are we going to have to tank again?
We will have to tank again, yeah.
Damn it.
We have one more stop. We have to do one more en route GAB.
I don't think there are any more en routes here.
Oh, we're just going to have to stop at the next exit then. Don't got a choice. I guess I could have just filled up at the last one when I was half tank. Could have, didn't, should have, didn't.
May have.
This is on route over here.
There'll be a little saying that the flash props come with the cool stickers.
Oh yeah, those hilarious stickers that they come in. So there seems to be an exit
Bad
coming up here.
translation as well.
Oh, the beautiful bad translation. Those beautiful sexist comments that they have in there, very good.
Sexist comments?
Oh, there's just, I don't know, there's some of the stickers that I think were just translated so poorly that they come off a little bit sexist.
Charles asking when is the trolley coming out?
When is the trolley coming out? When you sell 25 of them for me, it's coming out. Your cam storage is almost full. Oh boy, we won't be able to save this and repost it. Self, what would it be? If you had to give a tip to a younger pilot, what would it be?
Fly easy.
Flying.
That's what I first did. I used to I started flying in the winter. So you'd be in the park and there was snow on the ground. And
So pretend the floor is lava.
yeah. And my quads were not isolated in any way, so I did not want to crash. And I only had like 4 batteries, and I basically flew so slowly that I could hold each battery up for like 10 minutes. And so I could stay out for like 30 minutes with my 3 batteries. And it was a good time. So just don't crash, fly your pace, find your pace. I mean, a lot of the racing sort of evolves around everybody turns up and gets hyped up about how fast they can go. And you go, you crash, you smash your stuff, and then you can't fly anymore. Or you go, you fly, you smash your stuff, it doesn't fly like before because now it's all bent or something's not going right. I'd say really, find your rhythm and fly your rhythm, and then push your rhythm slowly, bit by bit, and be humble with yourself. Like know if it's not your day, go slowly. I mean, if it's not your day, just fly a bit slower. It's that simple, one might say, but it's hard to. It sounds stupid, but it's actually really hard to do. Very hard to do.
Someone was saying to get a better image on your FPV, should you change the VTX or the receiver?
The camera, VTX.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything, actually. It's a combo. If you want really
Even
good
the
video.
antennas as well, yeah.
It's
Antenna, VTX, and I'd say camera is really important to your image
First
quality.
thing you need to make
Is
sure
this the
is that you
333
are
exit?
on the right channel. A lot of people.
Is this 333?
No, 19.
No, this is 19. Okay.
A lot of beginners somehow start and then don't take the time to see if they're on the right channel, and then complain about bad video because they're not on the right channel. Next thing you should do is maybe look at getting decent antennas.
I know, but I want to
because
get
a lot of
gas
the
out of
Chinese
gas.
antennas are actually absolute rubbish. So get a half decent antenna, and then
Just
you'll
fuck
get
me,
much
'cause
better
I'm really
performance.
out of gas.
And then maybe you can start looking into a better receiver or a better VTX. I mean, that's however you feel things.
Great answer. Is last battery bad luck?
Last battery, bad luck.
Like when you say this is my last battery, that like whole myth of every time you say this is my last battery, bro, and then you just like that's when you crash your quad or lose your quad or.
It's always like that with Ryan. I remember, like I always had a whole argument with my girlfriend because we'd go flying, and I'd tell her, "Yeah, don't worry, I'll be back by 7." And then here I am coming back at 9. Well, Ryan lost his quad all the way up on the tree. We had to go get it back. I couldn't just leave, could I?
Yeah, I could just like ditch him there with
And
his
that
quad
was
crash.
usually, let's just fly last battery, and then Ryan ditches his quad or his wing all the way at the top of the tree, and then we have to fight for an hour to get it down.
328.
So bad luck, I don't know. Last battery, I'd say take it easy. Don't try to do your best performance of the day.
It doesn't look like there's gas
Your
here.
last
There's
battery,
freaking restaurant.
yeah.
There's a gas
Have a
sign
nice
in the top
peaceful
left.
one. What's the next question?
What do you want to? I can't read it.
Where do you want to go in 5 years?
Where
in
do you
this
think?
sport?
Where do you think you'll be in 5 years in this sport?
I don't even know if I'll be in this sport in 5 years, to be honest.
Who knows? Gab might be a professional spaceship pilot by then.
I don't think I'll be a professional spaceship pilot. It's just that, like, it's very hard to make money as a drone pilot, as a drone racer at this point. DRL so far is probably the best way to do it at the moment, but it's still relatively volatile. I mean, if you look at last season, if you went to Munich and in Munich you didn't qualify, you didn't go fast enough, well, you were out. There's like four people who got kicked out, and then you go to London, there's another 2 people who get kicked out, and then you're not even in the finals. So it's hard to be on top of this performance that you need to put on every time. And drone racing is about that. I mean, racing is about that. You need to perform all the time, and if you're not on top of your game all the time, well, that's too bad for you, isn't it? So I hope that there's some sort of a system that emerges where you can just base things really on reliability and show that you can always have a consistent result, not necessarily be the best every time at each race, because that doesn't happen. That does not happen. At some point, your luck expires, and you can't just win every time. I mean, look at even Luke Bannister. You know, he came out as the miracle kid at the World Drone Prix. He totally kicked everybody's butt at like other major events, and then on come some other UK events, and he doesn't even make it into the finals. On come MultiGP International Open, where he didn't even make it either into the finals. There's you know, sometimes it's just not your day, and there's not much you can do about that.
And then there's like Luke Bannister comes to MultiGP 2 days later than everyone else, doesn't practice the track, sits down, does 3 batteries, and then beats everyone who's been there for 2 days practicing the track by 2 full seconds. Like, that's just ridiculous.
He did that. But
yeah,
then,
he did do that.
But then he went out on his first actual
race and he crashed.
He crashed in, like, he hit the ground before the first gate.
Yeah, so he just like hit the ground.
And then he was in the catch-up round, and then he didn't make it either there. So I mean, it's
I actually need my wallet. I need my wallet that's attached to the phone. So we are getting gas right now. Let's say hello to Ryan. Hey Ryan, say hello to the live stream.
Yo, what's up?
So that was the car that was creepily following us behind that everyone thought was the cops.
Yeah, I loved how the fact that you like went from, you know, 100 to a little bit more than a lot more.
It was like 140, 120, 115.
Like, just set your cruise control, bro.
It's because it's a 4-lane highway. It's just moving all the time. So guys, I think unless Gab wants to take over, but I think we're gonna end the live stream.
I can take over.
Oh, he's taking over.
Are there questions here?
There could be more questions. Do you guys have more questions for Gab?
There are here a few questions.
Oh, questions.
Pod racing, a lot of latency. Drones on Mars.
Drones on Mars.
Where do you want to go in 5 years? Okay, we were there.
Where do you want to go in 5 years? Drones on Mars.
There are too many technical issues to provide a good show to watch in person. What? There are too many technical issues. Whoa! I have to disagree with that. You haven't seen DRL. Well, while we do all this, we will give you a backdrop view of Jason tanking the car.
I'm fixing my gas thing. It looks like the pin came up here.
Oh, what?
This pin thing came up.
That doesn't sound very good, does it?
That's the door on the gas thing. It's like this little...
Wait, why does it say 3 minutes until end of live video?
We've been streaming because I don't have space on my phone.
Oh. Well, I guess we just have 3 minutes.
Guys, you got 3 minutes. Get your questions in now.
So you were saying a drone race is no good to watch in person. I have to disagree with that. If you've seen London, was an absolutely amazing show. The 1,500 people who were there were absolutely blown away. We had like screens showing videos from pilots. They were like presentations. They were doing commentary on the fly. It was absolutely mind-blowing. The show they put on there was absolutely incredible.
I guess it depends how it's...
It doesn't reach a lot of people. Well, was it the live stream from the race in China? I think they they had a ridiculous amount of people. I think at least like 100,000 or something like that. Like for us, it's a lot of people, but like in China, it's just it's just a little neighborhood who just decided to watch that day. Hey Ryan, nice car by the way. Carole Caffardi. Bring back Gab in one piece, Jason.
No.
Why don't you freestyle? I freestyle.
I don't guarantee anything.
I think I have one freestyle video. If you look very carefully, it's a DVR. If you look carefully, you will find my one freestyle DVR.
Jason let out his gas at the gas station.
No, Jason is letting out gas at the gas station. Oh.
Is it counting down your seconds here?
Thanks, John. All the best to you too. So with that, I think we will wrap this live stream up. You get a last chance.
Get a last jump in.
A last chance to say hi to Bindi. Bindi. Any questions for Bindi? She'll answer your questions too if you ask her kindly.
Who's in the live stream?
There's 8 people.
8
Alright, guys.
people. Hello.
All that,
we'll see you at the race tomorrow, boys and girls.
Alright. Come out of the race if you're in the area. Otherwise, peace out. Bye bye.